released in the MHA. So now the big question is whether there is a section within the NSCN-IM who think differently and are not fully interested in accepting the Government of India's offer of letting the Nagas have a flag of their own, but which can be used only on cultural occasions. Again, the question is whether there is a section within the NSCN-IM that is agreeable to the Government of India offer and move forward. Well, the picture is not clear as the NSCN-IM top brass is tight-lipped over the recent rounds of talks. The question to which there is no answer as of now is whether there are differences within the NSCN-IM. We will have to wait until talks next week are held. All right, to know more on this, we are being joined live with our editor-in-chief, WASBIR HUSSAIN. So, WASBIR, big development there. After 2 rounds of talks, now the Government of India and the NSCN-IM will continue their dialogue in Delhi next week. So, what more details you have with you, WASBIR?
Yes, Priya, this is the big breaking story on Northeast Live at this point in time. The third round of talks between the Government of India and the NSCN-IM delegation headed by General Secretary Twingalang Muiva will be held in New Delhi next week. Remember, the first round of talks after the dialogue resumed were held in New Delhi on the 23rd of August. The second round of talks were held yesterday, that is the 25th of August. And now the third round, according to our sources, will be held in New Delhi next week. Now, this can mean 2 to 3 things. Now, one can easily say that the talks must have made some progress and therefore it is lingering and therefore it has gone into the third round. Now, there are sections, there are reports trickling in the social media through people who are supposedly close to the NSCN-IM. Now, according to this section of people, some section within the NSCN-IM are absolutely not happy with the Government of India's offer of a flag to the Nagas to be used only for cultural purposes, whereas there is an indication that a section within the NSCN-IM are okay with the idea and wants to move forward. Now, whether or not this exactly is the fact is very difficult to ascertain because the NSCN-IM top brass is totally tight-lipped over the rounds of talks that were held in New Delhi. During the first round of talks, our sources within the group had told us that the discussions began with deliberations on the core issue of a flag and constitution. Now, therefore, it is clear that the talks on day 1 centered around the NSCN-IM's core demand of a separate flag and constitution for the Naga people. On earlier occasions, we have reported earlier also that the Government of India has been ready to allow the Nagas the use of their traditional flag, a separate flag. But the point that has been made clear to the Naga delegation, that is the NSCN-IM delegation, is that they can use the flag, but they can use it only for cultural purposes and not be able to fly that particular traditional flag alongside the national flag or the tricolor. Now, this was something at that point in time totally rejected by the NSCN-IM. But now, after the latest round of discussions on the 23rd and the 25th, there appears from the posts and interactions, posts in the social media and through interactions with people close to the NSCN-IM, that a section within the NSCN-IM are okay with the Government of India's offer, and a section within the NSCN-IM again are saying that they are not going to accept it, they are not going to accept the use of a flag only for cultural purposes. But therefore, it is either way. And to break this deadlock, we are having, and they will be having another round of dialogue, another round of talks next week in New Delhi. And until then, we'll have to wait and watch as to what emerges. Now, there is already a section of the Nagas are absolutely restive over the unusual delay in reaching a solution to the Naga peace talks. Of course, we know that unless and until that's acceptable and honorable, the Nagas, after 7 decades of leading this movement, cannot accept a deal. But there is also a realization among the Naga people that the talks cannot go on indefinitely. The talks has to end someday, and that day has to come sooner than later. That is also one of the views among the Naga people. But at the end of the day, it is clear that the Nagas will only accept an acceptable and honorable solution to their 7 decades plus long movement for self-determination or for seeking their rights. Now the big issue is that there were 2 rounds of talks already held on 23rd and the 25th of August, and the next round will be held in New Delhi next week, and amid speculations as to whether there are some differences within the NSCN-IM over the Government of India's offer of the flag for the Nagas, with one section agreeing to use the flag only for cultural purposes and the other section saying that no, will not use the flag unless it is all encompassing, unless it is allowed to be flown on all occasions. So we'll have to wait for the next round of talks next week in New Delhi to see what actually the picture or what actually the situation is.
All right, WASBIR, thank you so much for all those details.